classy tuna sandwich. That's really good.
Food should be exciting.
Should pop in your mouth.
I love a tuna melt, like don't get me wrong, but this is so much better. Tuna tartare sandwich, baby. I'm Chris Teigland, and we're gonna make a classy ahi tuna tartare sandwich. Perfect. That's really good. So you already saw the trashy, did a tuna melt.
Yum, yum, yum.
This is classy. We're gonna do some tuna tartare sandwiches. The most important part, just spend the money. Don't be cheap. Don't get tuna. Get nice stuff. Probably notice that it'll be frozen everywhere. That's normal. Whenever you're eating raw fish, people are always like, I only get sushi if I'm by the coast. And like, that's dumb because it gets frozen before you eat it anyway.
That's what kills things that make you potentially get sick.
Get the good tuna. For this, you have a beautiful red ahi tuna. You'll notice sometimes like cheaper ones get like light pink and they just don't have the same texture or flavor. So we're just going to start by cutting this into stuff that's easy to chew. It's frozen. There's going to be like some water content coming out like as this thaws. And as you're cutting it, it's not blood, the liquid you see. Sometimes you can like pat it dry if you need to. We're going to mix it with a bunch of other stuff. It's not going to hurt your sandwich. We can wipe the board in a second, but we'll just get some strips started here and then we'll cut them smaller and smaller. Okay, that's got to be plenty for two, I think. Really, at this point, like look through, you can kind of see that there's not like really any big sinewy bits in here. You would probably want to cut away from those. Like it's just hard to chew. It's hard to cut. But when you get towards these like leaner parts of the tuna, it's going to be pretty beautiful the whole way through. And now we just want to take it and cut it into smaller pieces. Some people will take like a grinder and do this, or they'll just like hack the out of it. You just got to cut it small. Yay size. You got lucky with this bag too, because sometimes you do get one and because it's frozen, you can't tell. And then when it thaws, it is all like sinew.
Oh, is there a whisk down here?
So we have our tuna diced. We're just going to go through and make our like vinaigrette for everything. Real simple. So we're going to start with Dijon again. And Dijon's awesome. Don't be shy. It tastes good. We're going to add some capers. You can get a little of the caper liquid in there too. Going to add some sliced shallots. A little bit of minced garlic. Then we have the fun parts. So again, herbs. Herbs make everything taste better. We're going to throw in a bunch of parsley. Don't be shy. Herbs is good. We have a little bit of chopped tarragon. This is one you might not use a lot. It just tastes good. When you sneak it into things, it gives it a really unique flavor, but it's not too overpowering. And in something like this, we're adding other stuff.
Food should be exciting.
Should pop in your mouth.
Kalamata olives will help with that a lot. So we're going to throw a bunch of those in. And I love things spicy, so we have some Calabrian chilies. So these are going to be like cured, salted. Again, I'm not going to be shy with it. Just throw a bunch in. Lemon, we're going to zest it and then juice it. I think a lot of people just take the juice and that's fine. The zest has a lot of great flavor too. There's no sense. You're going to throw it away when you're done cutting and squeezing it anyway. Might as well get the most out of it you can. And just be mindful of your seeds, which this one does not have a lot. Now, just some good olive oil. This is another thing not to be cheap with. So when you get cheap olive oil, it tastes like cheap olive oil. Get nice olive oil, it tastes way better. I'm going to say roughly a quarter cup. We're just going to mix this all together. And this one's definitely more like Mediterranean flavors. I don't think you see it a whole lot with fish all the time, but it's really good with fish. So also people that don't love tuna, this is going to mask a lot of those things as well without completely losing that you're eating tuna. All right, once we have this mixed up pretty well, get your tuna in. It's probably like the most common thing that people forget to do at home, but salt your food. That's how it tastes good. And much like our tuna melt, where you get to this point and you're like, man, you could serve this with like bread and just eat it as is, dip some vegetables in it and eat it. You just want to make sure it tastes good now, and then we'll get to the part of making the sandwich. Oh, that's spicy. That's nice. I love like ridiculously spicy stuff, but it's got a good kick. So we're going to toast this time the inside of the bread. It's going to help make like a little barrier for us to load the tuna without it all sogging everything out. But then we want the outside to still be soft. So you have some texture play there. They say with sandwiches, a lot of things, you want to go coast to coast. So you don't want to like just get butter on part of it and miss the edges. So spread it out. Also, if you go thick enough with the butter, it's going to melt in the pan. It's going to hit those other spots too. So don't skimp.
This is the fun part. Just silently spreading butter.
This is milk bread.
We're just gonna get one side nice and toasted before we build the sandwich. They just like smell awesome as soon as you start toasting. My brain was just like, the rest of this is now painfully easy because we're gonna put mayonnaise in it. This is milk bread. We buttered and toasted one side. And really what we're doing, we're just getting it brown. It's gonna be, you know, a little bit of a
Crunch to the touch.
I guess would be a good way to put it. But really you're just making something so it doesn't just all soak everything in from the tuna and turn into a total mess. Like any, you know, awesome sandwiches, there's gotta be some kind of condiment to it. So for this guy, we're just gonna do a little bit of that mayonnaise. This is where you could do Dukes, you could do Kewpie, do whatever you want, just good mayonnaise. We're gonna get one side really well done. The other side we're gonna hit with our tuna. And if you didn't toast this tuna will just like sog it out. I don't know if you ever get like a burger somewhere where they don't toast the buns and it's just like a big moppy mess. You don't want that. No one wants that. So here, you're gonna try and push. There's no crust on this bread. It's gonna look pretty, but we're just gonna push everything to the corners just so you're not missing anything. You want every bite to be awesome. Now we take our top, boom. Now we have a sandwich. Technically you could eat it like this. Do whatever you want. We're gonna slice it. You could keep it like this. You could stack them tall. Do whatever you want, but right there you have little tuna tartare sandos, baby. All right, let's try it out. I love a tuna melt. Like, don't get me wrong, but this is so much better. You need to try this one. That's really good. It's super soft on the outside, and then you have a crisp on the inside. The butter, honestly, anything with bread, like you gotta have butter. It's so good. It's spicy. It's briny. It's fresh tasting because nothing's cooked. You have a lot of acidic things in there. You have this really gorgeous tuna. This was all just in the brain. I had no idea if this was going to turn out, but that's awesome. The textures, though, it's just all over the place with this one. It's super fun. I could see you wanting to eat like 40 of these like little sandwiches. Killer as a meal. This would be awesome. You could even cut them into quarters, do little past apps with these, but it's a banger. I'm so glad you filmed this because now I'll remember how I made it. This is so good. I would do this one again. Yeah, other underrated sandwiches, fried bologna. You got really good bread for both of these. These are nice. This is why I keep the beard smaller now because my wife would always be like,
There's food in your beard.
Save that for later.
it'd be cool if we could make something where people were like, yeah, I'd like to see that more. And I feel like if I saw either of those on like a YouTube video, I'd be curious to see what they're making. Yeah, I'll finish that bite.